It's really easy to make porridge, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Oatmeal is extremely good for you, and this is oatmeal as opposed to using rolled oats, and if you try it you'll know the difference. This is what the Scots have eaten for centuries. They say they're very good for Scots in Scotland and what makes racehorses very fast in England. Anyway, we're going to start with half a cup of oatmeal. I have here some medium ground oatmeal. The oatmeal is ground between stones, and sometimes it can be fine, it can be medium, or it can even be rough. It depends on how the miller sieves it. But we're going to use some medium oatmeal, which gives it a really nice creamy crunchy flavour. We're going to have half a cup of oatmeal and a cup of water. Nothing complicated about ingredients, very, very simple. Now the secret of good porridge is to keep on stirring it to make sure you don't get any lumps in it. The lumps are known as knotty tams. Now I'm just going to go to the cooker now and turn on the plate. And keep on stirring while the oatmeal comes to the boil and thickens. And then I need to turn down the heat and let it simmer for 2 or 3 minutes. If you want to be really quick, you can soak it overnight and just cook it in the morning, and then you don't need to cook it for so long. Or, if you're in a real hurry, you can cook it in the microwave. The secret of cooking oatmeal in porridge in the microwave is using a heat level probably about 650 to 700 and giving it bursts of 30 seconds to a minute and stirring until it's nice and thick and creamy. Now I'm going to stand, I can feel this beginning to thicken already. I'm just going to continue stirring until it thickens. The secret also is not to add the salt until the last minute and to use sea salt. You don't need very much salt with really good oatmeal because it's got such a lovely flavour anyway, and the sea salt just brings out the flavour, and you just need a pinch. Put it at the last minute. If you add salt at the beginning, it tends to make the porridge tough and it's not such a nice creamy texture. Now once this comes to the boil, I'm going to reduce the heat and let it simmer for 2 or 3 minutes to thicken, and then we're going to serve it. Now I'll tell you about how we're going to serve it. The traditional way of serving porridge was with 2 bowls. A small bowl of very, very cold cream and another larger bowl for the hot porridge. You dipped your spoon into the hot porridge and then into the cold cream, which meant you kept the cold cream separate to the hot porridge, and that meant that you had hot porridge all the way through until the very last spoonful. But my grandmother came from Orkney, and in Orkney I discovered that they had, now this is just, I'll just interrupt myself here. Now that's the porridge is beginning to thicken and boil. I'll just let you see it. You see how thick that is? Now if your porridge gets too thick, all you have to do is add a little more water to thin it down. I'll leave this I'm going to add just a little bit more water to it because that will continue to thicken as it cooks because the oatmeal absorbs the water. My first memory of porridge, which I absolutely love, is as a child of about 4. And my grandmother had special Orkney porridge plates and Orkney jugs for the cream, which my grandfather used to use to eat his porridge. And what he did was, there was a plate for the hot porridge and then a little mini jug which went with the plate, and he used to pour the cream or the milk from the jug onto his spoon of porridge and eat it that way. Now that's the porridge, that's a really good consistency, and it's just simmering now. I'll just let you see that. That's a better consistency. You see that? It's like really thick double cream. I'm going to reduce the heat and let that simmer just for a couple of minutes. I have a timer here which is quite useful. I'm going to put that on for 2 minutes to cook. Now, if you reduce the heat enough, you can actually just go away and leave it for a couple of minutes, but I find that a timer is a useful thing because I have been known to burn porridge in the past. I'm just going to leave that to simmer for the 2 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you the little porridge jug that I have. This is the little porridge jug and the matching bowl. I'm going to put the hot porridge into the bowl and then you can have the creamy milk with it. This oatmeal that I've used is actually grown in Murrayshire and the variety is called Firth, but you will find every oatmeal is different, so you can make the same porridge recipe but have a different taste if you buy oatmeal from different oatmeal mills. For example, there's Barney Mill on Orkney. Their oatmeal is very toasted and very oatmeally tasted. Galsby Mill is quite crunchy. Then this is from the oatmeal mill at Port Soy, which belongs to Grampian Oat Millers. And then there are several other oatmeals in Scotland. Another one which is called Hogarth's, and their oats are very highly toasted and have a very, very crunchy texture. Rolled oats are completely different to oatmeal, and if you've ever tried oatmeal porridge, you probably won't want to try rolled oats again, because it's a much nicer taste. Right, this porridge is just about ready, and you'll see that as it's cooked it has thickened up quite a lot. Right, at the last minute I'm just going to add a very, very small spoonful of sea salt. This is Atlantic sea salt crystals. And that's all I'm going to put in, and that's the buzzer telling me that that's the porridge just ready. I'm going to stir in the sea salt to season it. Now at this point, if you're a person that likes runnier porridge, you can always add a little bit more hot water, but that's the consistency that that most people like, so we'll just leave it at that. And I'm just going to pour it into the bowl. The Scots just have salt in their porridge. However, some people like to have either soft brown sugar or add raisins or sultanas just when they're cooking it, so they plump up and make it really nice and sweet. And some people like to have some really nice runny honey, Scottish honey, in the middle of their porridge in the morning. So you can also add cinnamon if you like, which makes it really nice. So there are lots of ways to have porridge. Enjoy.